meeting is being recorded.
All righty. So you are welcome, anyone, if you'd like to turn your video off if you don't want to be on the recording. At the end, when I turn the recording off, everybody can jump back in if you want to. I'd love to turn my video off as well, but I won't. Anyway, for those who are watching the recording, welcome. This is our oils and cats class. And I'm really happy to see all of you here. I think this is really fun information and really important information because there's so much inaccurate information out there about oils and cats, and specifically about oils harming cats or being dangerous for cats. So I'm going to go through some of that tonight and give you some of the truth. There is some truth about safety concerns, so we're going to definitely talk about that. And then I'm also going to give you some great ways that you can use oils with your cats and some recipes, just a couple of easy ways to get started. All right. If you have any questions, please do me a favor and type them in the chat or just take some notes. All right. I'm going to go through this part of the class very quickly. I'm just going to go through all the slides, get that content taken care of. And then after that, I'll go through the questions. And if we need more time, I'm happy to hang around after to answer more questions. All right, so either put them in the chat so I can go there after, or just keep a little notebook next to you with your questions. Okay, all right, so oils and cats, super fun topic, I think. I already shared a little bit before I started the recording about the fact that I had a cat for 14 years and Chloe from day one was around oils. Okay, I only have ever used Young Living oils, and that's a really important factor when we talk about safety. But Chloe was around oils all the time. I didn't use them internally with her, and not very much topically either. I mostly used them in the litter box or just diffusing, and she was perfectly fine and perfectly healthy. All right, one of the things that you'll often hear about oils and cats is that they're dangerous, and that people will say oils killed my cat. And I just want to dispel that from the get-go, because if you're using the right oils and the right quality of oils, you can use oils safely and effectively with your cats. All right, so the key thing to know is that cats do require a much higher dilution than people do, and even dogs. So if you have dogs as well as cats, maybe you've been using oils with your dogs right along and you're comfortable with that. That's how I've been for many years. It is different with cats. Okay, there are many oils that you can use straight or neat, we call it, with dogs, that you cannot do that with cats. All right, so cats, they're smaller, and they also lack an enzyme that's really important for metabolizing certain plant proteins. So it could be a number of different plants, and I'm going to share some of the ones with you, but that's even for things like certain foods, like chocolate can be really dangerous for cats, caffeine, zinc, xylitol, which is also a problem for dogs. But there can be a variety, like some of you may know, some house plants are toxic and super dangerous to plants. So be aware of that too. If you're a new cat owner, if cats are new to you, do your research. Okay, there might be some household plants and items that you're going to make sure you keep away from your cats. And then we're going to teach you about the oils piece of it. Okay, so, and if they're exposed to these things, they just have a much higher risk of toxicity. And we don't want that, right? We don't want our animals exposed to toxins. That's why we're using essential oils in the first place, right? Is to get away from the toxic cleaning products and the chemicals in the home that harm our animals. So we certainly don't want to be using oils that they have a hard time metabolizing, and that can lead to that toxicity as well. So you may have heard some horror stories, as I mentioned. The key here again is to know which oils are okay to use. So which specific oils, and then to only use a very high quality. So many of the stories out there was one a few years ago on Facebook about, oils killing someone's cat. They never tell you where they got the oils. They never tell you the specific brand of oils. They never tell you how they were used, whether they were diluted or not, whether they were diffused, used topically, ingested. They never give you all the details. And so it's really important because I'm going to teach you the right ways to use oils so that you don't harm your cat. But the first and most important thing is you do not want to be using oils that contain solvents. You do not want to be using oils that contain synthetic fragrances. You don't want to be using oils that have any additives or any chemical extenders. So that's the reason why I will only use Young Living oils, right? So I use oils that are pure, that do not contain solvents, that also do not contain pesticides or fertilizers, because none of that's used on any of the plants that Young Living gets their oils from. So it's really, really important. You might not be willing to spend on quality oils for yourself. This is often the case, right? People are more willing to spend on quality for their animals than they are for themselves. And this is where I think having that love and care and concern for pets can actually help us in our health journey, because we will buy the better quality oils for them and therefore get the benefits ourselves. All right, so having a little bit of know-how and making sure you only invest in quality oils is going to be the biggest things that you need to know. If you don't get anything else from this class, those are the two biggest things to know. All right, just know your oils and get the highest quality available. Okay, so there are some oils that you do want to avoid with cats for topical or internal use. Okay, so if you're planning to use oils topically for skin or for joint problems or muscle, or if you want to do raindrop we can do on animals. I know some of you are in the class today. So that would be topical use. You can use oils internally. I'm going to give you a little bit of guidance on that. My preference is to work with a practitioner, right? Either a holistic vet or somebody that's experienced in using oils with cats before you do that. But for topical or internal use, these are the ones you want to avoid. Okay, so citrus oils. So that's everything from your typical citrus like lemon and orange and tangerine to things like bergamot, which is also a citrus. Okay, so any of your citrus oils, grapefruit, any of those. Tea tree, also known as melaleuca, wintergreen, and birch. Okay, so if you're planning to do topical application or you want your cat to ingest oils, you're going to avoid these. Okay, that's the biggie. Now, oils that are safe for topical use, it's a much broader list. This is only some of them. There are actually more than these. And if you have the desk reference, you'll see lots and lots of uses for oils topically for cats, all different oils. But these are some of kind of the top ones, the ones that you'll see used most often in a lot of the treatments or recipes suggested. So these include cedarwood, lavender, myrrh, frankincense, copaiba, digize, tommyjize, lemongrass, purification, melissa, helichrysum, and I know you guys can read, but some people can't see the slides, so that's why I'm reading them. Juniper, cardamom, and any of the animal scents oils. Okay, so any of the oils that look like this, these are the animal scents. There's a line of oils. There's really only 3 now, I believe, that are specially formulated for animals. Okay, with cats, we're still going to dilute those. They are pre-diluted for animals, but more for dogs and larger animals. So for cats, we're still going to dilute these, but they're specially formulated with all oils that are safe for animals. Okay. And by the way, I have a PDF of these slides that I'm happy to send you. So at the end, or if you want to message me, however you'd like to, I'm happy to send these out. Okay, so if you're having trouble viewing the slides or worried about taking notes, don't worry about that. Okay. All right. So the key with using oils topically, even the ones that are safe for cats, is dilution, right? So remember, they're more sensitive, okay? And so we're going to need to dilute our oils. And this slide gives you some of the detail on that. So for hot oils, these would be things that, most of us know what hot oils are. But these are things that aren't your super gentle. So they're not like your frankincense or lavender. These are some of the other oils. Actually, can we go back? So if we go back, so things like digize, okay, that has some of your hot oils in there. What else is on here? Lemongrass can sometimes be considered a hot oil. So those, cardamom, those would be ones that I would do that dilution with. That's a 0.5% dilution, which means 1 drop in a 10 ml roller. Okay, so the greatest thing ever, I think, is that for your cats, you can create a set of rollers that are just for your cats. Okay, so like I have, this is digize that I've diluted at the 1% solution. This is actually a little bit more than what, so you could do digize at the 1% only because it's already a blend. So if it just had, like if we just had some of those oils, some of the specific oils in digize, we would need to dilute this just at the 0.5% solution, but this one is a 1% solution. So, and depending on how you're going to use it too, which I'm going to share a little bit about in a second. But basically, for hot oils, you're going to do 1 drop in a 10 ml roller. For gentle oils, so if you're doing lavender or frankincense, that would be 2 drops in a 10 ml roller. Okay, and if you have kittens or you're really concerned or want to be super cautious, then just go with that 1 drop, regardless of what oils you're using. Okay, you can just keep it really gentle. All right, with animal scents, again, no dilution is suggested for general use, but I would still dilute these and I would just use that gentle, right? So do the 2 drops. In some of the recipes you're going to see it'll say 2 to 4 drops is fine in a 10 ml roller if you have the animal scents oils. Okay. And we'll talk about those oils in a minute and what those are specifically. So when you are applying those, okay, once you make your roller, okay, so one thing that you can do is first just let your cat smell it. Okay, smell the roller. This is diluted, not the actual bottle of digize. Don't stick that in their nose, but let them smell the roller that's now already diluted with the 1 or say 2 drops of your oil, and the rest is carrier oil. And then see how they react. Okay, if they run or they exhibit some kind of behavior that makes you concerned, then hold off on it. Okay, or try a different one. Try something a little bit more gentle. If they don't have that kind of reaction, if they have a more positive reaction, then what you're going to do to use it topically is you're going to roll it on your hand. Okay, and then you're going to rub your hands together. Okay, so you're now absorbing some of that oil yourself, which is further diluting it. And then you can apply the oil. So for digize, you would do that and then apply it on the belly, rub on the belly. Okay, so when you're, and this is what's so great, I think, about having just a set of rollers for different things that you're going to use for your cat. You're going to roll it on your hand, rub your hands together, and then apply it. So for some oils, you might be running it right down their back. Okay, for something like digize, you're probably going to rub it right on their tummy. So a little different than dogs. With dogs, a lot of us will just take the digize and put a drop right on the dog's belly. We're not going to do that with cats. Okay, first we're going to dilute it. Okay, so that's kind of the rule of thumb for your dilution. Okay, for those hot oils, you're going to do 1 drop. For gentle oils, you're going to do 2 drops in a 10 ml roller, and then further dilute by putting it between your hands, and then you apply it topically. Okay, we never want to apply oils to cats' eyes or inside the ears or the nose. Okay, so just be mindful of that. Those are very sensitive areas, and any oils can cause a reaction and irritation there. Okay, so just never inside. You can put them outside so if you had, we're going to talk about a stress, oils to use for stress for your dog, same kind of thing. You can apply it here, put it between your fingers, and then touch behind your cat's ears. Okay, but never inside the ears. All right. Okay. Next up, oils for diffusing. All right, so we talked about oils not to use topically or internally. We talked about oils you can use topically and some general rules on how to do that. And then oils for diffusing. So these are some of the same ones we saw just a minute ago: frankincense, lavender. Roman chamomile is actually a really nice one to diffuse for cats. Copaiba, spikenard, and most of our blends, most of the Young Living blends, especially those more lavendery-ish, right? So if you think about the lavender, cedarwood, frankincense, blends that have more of those oils in them are very fine to diffuse. And it's even okay to diffuse oils or blends that have some citrus in them, or that might have a little bit of tea tree or a little bit of peppermint, because they're in a blend. Okay, so that's why, if you remember, we said oils that are not safe and that you want to avoid for topical use: citrus, tea tree, wintergreen, and birch. But if you're diffusing something that has a little wintergreen, that's probably okay. If you're diffusing something that has a little bit of citrus, that's probably okay, because you're not applying it topically, you're not having them ingest it, and that oil is already blended into other oils in the blend. Okay, I wouldn't necessarily suggest diffusing straight peppermint 24/7 if if you have cats. So these are some of the best oils to diffuse, but so many of the Young Living blends would be perfectly fine as well. Okay, now a key here, I might say this in the next slide, I think I do, is to just make sure that your cat can leave the room. All right, and this is the same thing that we say about dogs too. So, we hear those horror stories, probably untrue horror stories, but we hear those horror stories about people who say their dog, died from oils. And again, the key question is, what were the oils you were using? How were you using them? Where did you get those oils? And was your animal allowed to leave the room? So if you put a diffuser on, you definitely want to keep the door open so your cat or dog can leave the room if it gets to be too much. Okay, so that's a really important thing. Diffusing in general is safe. You just want to have some common sense about it. Okay, you do want to be cautious when you're diffusing things like tea tree, cassia, which is like a cinnamon. It's like a strong cinnamon bark, oregano, thyme, peppermint, wintergreen, and birch. Okay, so again, if those are in some blends, it's probably okay, but I wouldn't just diffuse cinnamon straight and keep your cat locked in that room. Okay. All right, and then some other things for diffusing. Always use a water-based diffuser. So some of you may know Young Living just recently came out with a diffuser that does not require any water. And it's great for a number of things. It's great for certain health issues. It's great for if you have mold. It doesn't put any other moisture in the air. And there's a bunch of reasons why that diffuser is great. It's not great for cats. Okay, so you want to use, if you're diffusing, you want a water-based diffuser. Okay, you want a diffuser that you're going to add water and then your drops of oil. Okay, because that water is going to further dilute the oil for you. Okay, the other thing when you're diffusing around cats, don't use any more than 5 drops of oil total. So we all love diffuser blends, and some of them will end up having you put 15 drops in your diffuser. What I would say is, if you're diffusing in an area where your cat's going to be hanging out, just tone it down a little bit, right? If they say 5 drops of something, just put 1 or 2, and then 1 or 2 of the other, right? Till you get to a total of 5 drops. Okay. If your cat has run of the house and you want to make your special diffuser blend in the kitchen or the living room or your bedroom, and they have plenty of other area to be where that scent is not going to be strong and permeating, then that's fine. All right. But rule of thumb, if your cat's going to be in that room or in that vicinity, that's where they like to hang out, just try to keep your diffuser to 5 drops or less of oil. right? Just don't overpower them. Their sense of smell is so much stronger than ours. They're so much tinier than us. So just be considerate, right? It's like if you were, if you were going to be, I don't know, in a car with someone all day, you probably wouldn't like douse yourself in perfume, right? If they didn't like perfume. So we just want to be conscious that cats don't need as strong of a smell as we do to get the benefits. So we just tone it down a little bit. Okay, and then use the intermittent setting on your diffuser if possible. So most diffusers now have an option where it can go on for a little bit and shut off, go on for a little bit and shut off. And that's ideal for what you want to do with cats around. Okay, you don't want to be diffusing for 10 hours straight, especially if you're diffusing, at full potency and maybe some oils that are a little bit on the edge for cats. Okay, and as I said, always give your cat the ability to leave the room on their own. All right, oils for ingestion. So just like with people, this is a touchy subject, and I would rather suggest if you're thinking about doing that, reach out. Actually, there is Barbara Mayhew Fox. I meant to have her I'm just going to put a note here. I meant to have her contact info in the slides for you. So if anybody wants a holistic vet that uses Young Living oils, I can hook you up with Barbara Mayhew Fox. And she's written a couple of books. I have one of them here somewhere on how she's used oils with animals. And actually, she's used many of those oils that say avoid with cats. She's used to heal cats, but she knows what she's doing. Okay, so when it comes to ingestion, there can be oils that will do amazing things for your cats, but you want to work with someone who's a professional and who really knows how to use oils with cats internally. All right, so that would be my suggestion. And then also, do your best to get the animal desk reference. Okay, if you really want to do internal use, that's what I would suggest, is get the desk reference and then hook yourself up with someone like Barbara who can, who's had experience, who really understands the chemical composition of the oils and, the illnesses or conditions that need to be treated. And she can make the right determinations. And her book, I think she has a book, one of her books is called Animals Never Lie. And she has some great stories. There's a story in there in particular about a cat that they really had written off and thought there was no way they were going to save that cat. And she saved the cat with oils. So it's a pretty neat story. Okay, so here are some easy and safe ways that you can start using oils with your cats. Number one, and probably the easiest of all, is kitty litter. So we all like nice smelling kitty litter. I will tell you firsthand that that has an awful lot to do with diet. And super quick, when we got our kittens, their litter box smelled horrible, like really horrible. Like I was regretting that we'd gotten kittens. And I thought, oh my gosh, like, is it just because there's two cats? And I was changing it 5 or 6 times a day still. And I changed their diet and I ended up making their food myself. And I still do. And there's literally no smell to their litter box. There's no smell. So diet has a lot to do with it, but we can all make cat food. Like I literally spend, I feel like half my life now making cat food. So if you're not up for that, these are some suggestions for things you can do to help with the kitty litter smelling better. So you can just make a little kitty litter, what do we call it? Powder. Okay. So you take 1 to 3 drops of your essential oil. And I'll give you, there's a couple that are great. Purification from Young Living is fantastic. Cedarwood is nice. Lavender, you could do a little cedarwood and a little lavender, but those are great oils to use. 1 to 3 drops of those in 1 cup of baking soda. And then you let that sit for a couple of hours, a couple of days, stir it a few times, mix it around. And then when you're ready to use it, you're just going to sprinkle a little bit of that, like maybe a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons in the litter box. Okay. And they usually suggest that you have a separate litter box without oils in it if it's the first time your cat's going to be experiencing oils, just because they might be like, whoa, what is that? And they might not want to use the litter box right away. So have an alternative so you don't have a mess on your hands. But that can be a great, a great way to start using oils with your cat. Very simple, and it makes things smell really good. All right, the tummy roller. So this was, where did I put it? The Digize. All right, so you could use Digize or Tummy Jize. And again, it's just the one drop. You know what? I think I put 1% on this, but it really is one drop. Sorry, because I did use just one drop of the Digize. So for Digize, just the one drop in a 10 milliliter roller, and then fill the rest with carrier oil. Okay. Tummy Jize, you could probably do the 2 drops because Tummy Jize is already diluted for children. So it's not as strong as Digize. So you could probably put 2 drops of the Tummy Jize in the 10 ml, 1 drop if it's Digize. And then I use fractionated coconut oil. Okay. And that's it. And like I said, you just roll that between your palms. If your cat is having some tummy distress, this is a great thing to do. I actually did this for them after they had their deworming, and roll it between the hands like that. So you further dilute it and then rub on the belly. Okay. With any of these rollers, just be careful. If you're doing the belly, make sure you don't go too low on the belly. You don't want to get into the genital area. As I mentioned already, stay away from the nose and the eyes, and don't go inside the ears with any of these, but that's a great one. Digize, as you know, is great for people. It's great for dogs, and it's great for cats too. All right, skincare. So this is one of my all-time favorite oils from Young Living, and I don't really use it the way it's intended. I just love the smell of it so much. I don't know if anybody has this, but Pure Clean, it just smells like spring in a bottle. It's just a lovely, clean, lemony type scent. And again, this is specifically designed to be safe for animals, so it is safe. You're still going to want to dilute it if you're going to use this for your cat. And it's a blend of 11 different oils. Okay, 11 different oils. It's great for scrapes. It's great for minor cuts or abrasions, and just skincare in general. It's actually intended as part of a wound care system that Young Living had. And I don't think they have all of those oils anymore. It used to be the Pure Clean was first that you did to the wound to clean it, and then Mend Well. I'm not sure if they have every part of that. And there was one more too, and I don't think they have all of those anymore. But for cats, one of the best ways to use Pure Clean is to water dilute it. So you could add 3 to 5 drops of this in a 1 ounce spray bottle, and then you can use it just as a spritzer. Okay, so if they have a wound or something that you want to clean, purify with Pure Clean, you can just spritz that with that water dilution. Okay, so that's Pure Clean. And then flea and tick spray. So this is always a fun one. If you have outdoor cats, then this is a really nice blend. So it's 2 drops of geranium, 3 drops of lavender, 5 drops of cedarwood, a little bit, just like a drop of the Young Living dish soap, a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, and distilled water. Okay, and you're going to put that in a spray bottle, a 2 ounce spray bottle, and then add your distilled water, put all those other ingredients, add your water. You're going to want to shake it anytime you use it, just to disperse the dish soap and the vinegar. And when you spray it, you're not spraying directly on your cat. You're going to spray your hands, and then you're going to pet your cat. Okay, so anytime they're going outside, if they're outdoor cats, then you just spray your hands, rub them down, let them go out and play. Okay, so that's a really fun recipe. And again, I'll have these available for you in a PDF, so you don't have to write all these recipes down. All right, so one of the favorites, the Kitty Keep Away blend. So if there's something that you don't want your cat to go near, and people always ask me about like the bitter apple and these other products. A lot of them contain really nasty ingredients and can be really harmful for your cats. So black pepper essential oil is not harmful, but they really dislike the smell of it intensely. So this gives you a really good shot of keeping your cat away from whatever it is that you want them to be away from. So it would be 15 to 20 drops of black pepper essential oil. And by the way, black pepper is great for people. It's great for us. The black pepper vitality is great for internal use, for digestive stuff. It's also actually great for energy for the humans. So you can see if your cat will share it with you. He probably will, because he'll probably be like, yeah, use that all up. But anyway, it's 15 to 20 drops of black pepper essential oil, half a cup of white vinegar, half a cup of apple cider vinegar, 1 cup of water, and then again, a few drops, 2 to 3 drops of the Young Living dish soap. We say the Young Living dish soap because you don't want anything in any of these blends that would have any chemicals like sodium lauryl sulfate. A lot of your dish soap out there has all kinds of stuff in it, but most of them have sodium lauryl sulfate. So if there's something that you're going to be using around your cat, or in the case of the flea and tick spray that you're going to be putting on your cat, you don't want to use any of those dish soaps, but the Young Living dish soap doesn't have any of those ingredients. Okay. So for the Keep Away blend, you'll mix all of those in a 16-ounce spray bottle. You're going to shake it well before you use it. And again, you're going to spray the area that you want to keep your cat out of. You're not going to spray your cat. Okay, so don't spray it on your cat. Just spray that area. So if there's, a piece of furniture or an area of a rug, the black pepper, you can test it. This shouldn't have any impact on upholstery or anything like that, but test like a non-conspicuous spot, because it is going to have some vinegar, the white vinegar and the apple cider vinegar. So just test, an area that isn't super visible or can't be seen, just to make sure it doesn't have any effect on the material. But yeah, so that's the Keep Away blend. And frankincense. So I definitely wanted to share a little bit with you about frankincense for cats. And frankincense, most of us know, it's an amazing oil. They actually call frankincense the Swiss Army knife. Is it Swiss Army knife or the coconut oil of essential oils? There's so many uses for frankincense and so many benefits. It's great for the nervous system, the immune system, the digestive system, our mental emotional system. It's great for the skin, incredible for skin issues, incredible for muscles and joints, promotes cellular health. It's good for our DNA. And for animals, it's actually great for any lumps or bumps. So like my dog, Milo, has like a little fatty lump. So frankincense is great for things like that too. It's also really great for animals that are having trouble bonding. So maybe a rescue. So or in a case where maybe you got your cat from someone else, something like that, where you're needing a little bit of help in bonding. And any of you that know, in the story of the Bible, one of the reasons why frankincense was given to Mary, it wasn't just for baby Jesus. Frankincense was given because if the mother was wearing or using or had frankincense nearby, it actually helped create the bonding that was necessary for healthy nursing. So basically, it helped create that mother-child bond. And so that was one of the reasons why frankincense was such a wonderful gift at that time. So it's also valuable if you're trying to bond with your cat. And I know we all have some of those. There are cats that just don't tend to want to bond with people. They kind of want to just be alone and do their own thing. So frankincense could be wonderful for that. And you can read some of the other stuff that's on the screen here. If there's, abandonment issues or emotionally disconnected behavior, frankincense is just very calming, very relaxing. It's very good for people. It's very good for the limbic center of the brain, right? That center of emotions. So it can put us into a state where it makes animals more interested in coming near us, because we're giving off an energy. Our state of being is more peaceful and calm, and that has a lot to do with that bonding. All right. So for cats, for using frankincense, a water diffusion is preferred. So again, just using a diffuser, but with water in it, not a dry diffuser. And then for topical use, you're going to dilute it 1 to 2 drops per 100 drops of carrier oil. So that would be 2 to 4 in a 10 ml bottle. Okay, so you can put 2 to 4 drops of frankincense, fill the rest with carrier oil, and you can have a roller ready to go with frankincense. And the same thing as always, you're going to roll that on your hands, rub your hands, and then apply the frankincense. Okay. What I love to tell people in general about using oils with your animals is always start by just wearing oils yourself, right? So if you want your cat to get used to frankincense or just get used to oils, just put the oil on you and you can be that walking human diffuser that helps them to just get used to those oils or those scents. Okay, so that's another thing you can do is you can first start wearing the frankincense yourself or diffusing it a little bit here and there. And then you can go to that step of actually putting the diluted frankincense on them. All right, another favorite from the Animal Sense line, another one of the green bottles, is Tea Away. And Tea Away, so I used to think initially that that meant like tick away or something, but it's actually, it was shortened for thunderstorm away. And it was created basically with the idea that storms or anything scary for animals, this could be an oil. This is a blend that helps with just calming down the stress. Okay, so it could be storms. My cat never had any issue with storms the way my dog sometimes does. I don't know if any of your cats do, but anything that would cause them to be afraid or stressed or anxious, or even overly excited, right? Even just like kind of crazy. So TOA is a great blend for dogs and cats. With dogs, it doesn't need to be diluted. With cats, I definitely would. Okay, so you can still diffuse it. That's one way that it can be used in a water diffuser, 3 to 4 drops in your diffuser. Again, allowing your cat to leave the room if he or she wants to. But you can also create a TOA roller. And for this one, because it's an Animal Sense, you can use 2 to 4 drops in a 10 ml roller bottle and then fill the rest with carrier oil. And same thing as always, roll it in your palm first, hands together, and then roll it or rub it on your cat. Okay, like you're just like you're petting them. All right. So that's TOA. And again, just for like those stressful times, a lot of times what I'll tell people is like cats having to go to the vet or for car rides or being put in their carrier. If those things are stressful, what you don't want to do is use the TOA first at those times. So my suggestion is if you want to make this really work for you and for your cat, use the TOA first when you're just having a wonderful day at home. Okay, so at a really relaxing time, diffuse the TOA, just pet your cat, play with your cat, help them associate that smell with something positive. Because if it's the day that you have to take your cat to the vet and all of a sudden you're putting TOA on them, they're going to associate that smell with going to the vet. And the next time you take out that bottle, they're going to think they're going to the vet. All right, so associate it with a positive experience first, and then you'll be able to use it in those stressful times to help calm them down. All right, hopefully that makes sense. All right, so a couple things before we wrap up this part of our class. So again, I highly recommend seeing if you can find the Animals Desk reference. That is a great tool to have. I'm going to send you the PDF of this class. Barbara Mayhew Fox, you can find her on Facebook. She's a great resource. Also, if you're looking for a holistic vet who uses Young Living essential oils. And I'm going to hang around here for a little bit. So if you have questions or if you want to learn more, I'd love your feedback to know what other things you'd like to know for cats. And we can create some other classes to cover some of those things. But, the most important thing is get good quality oils, get the Young Living oils, put the effort and the, the priority level to that so that you get really good quality oils for your cat and for you. at the same time. And then just pay attention. You know, if you create a roller and you let your cat smell that roller and they run, then, you know, put that one away for right now and try a different one. Okay. They may need a little bit of time for that. Or, you know, just listen and pay attention to how they are. Give them the ability to leave the room and do your due diligence. So if you're going to use an oil topically, make sure you're going to check it. You know, make sure it's not on the avoid list for topical use, and make sure that you're diluting it properly. Like do the right things, right? And you'll have no problem using oils with your cats, and they'll be so much better for it. Right. So hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you feel more confident and comfortable using oils with your cats. I'm going to turn off the recording now. And that way, if anybody does want to